Alright guys, what is going on? My name is Pipe Bomb City and welcome to this very unique video guys where I'm going to be discussing the whole WWE-wise career of Daniel Bryan, who recently retired this week. Before this video begins, I just want to say be sure to check out my WWE Raw review for February 8, 2016 guys. Be sure to check out my Instagram and Instagram.com/PipeBombCity. And be sure to subscribe, like this video, and comment your opinions as long as it's not hate. Alright guys, but getting into this video, I just want to say that I'm not going to be covering any Ring of Honor or anything like that. I'm just going to be talking purely WWE. Let's just jump right into this video, guys. We're going to start off in NXT, guys. We're pretty much also, the point of this video, I just want to give a tribute to Daniel Bryan because he is truly a role model for me. I dearly appreciate all the memories that he's given me. I really do, and I just want to make this video to go take a trip down memory lane. I'm going to be discussing my thoughts, my opinions, and all of my reactions on all of these things that happened in Daniel Bryan's career. So I guess that's why it's the Daniel Bryan review. Pretty much starting off in NXT when it was shit. It was pretty much, I think it was the first, yeah, it was the first season because of the Nexus. It was the first season of NXT, and it was this game show slash wrestling slash reality show. Pretty much you had 7 contestants, I think. They were all men at this time, and you had them compete in sometimes matches, pretty much all game shows and interviews and stupid shit that didn't help them at all. Daniel Bryan himself said it was dumb. It was, and I'm pretty sure all of us would rather prefer this version of NXT. So pretty much, or I'm sorry, today's version of NXT. So what happened though is Bryan got eliminated, I think 4th or around there. I didn't really pay much attention to it because I wasn't watching WWE in 2010, so I don't really know about that. But pretty much what happened though is that his first match ever, I think, in WWE was in NXT, and it was against the World Heavyweight Champion Chris Jericho. And I've watched it, and it's a great match. I recommend all of you watch it if you haven't already. And I really felt like that set the bar for Daniel Bryan. A lot of people did, and it didn't. You know, even though he put on a great match against the world champ, it didn't really mean anything. Eventually, him and 6 other men, I think, debuted on the main roster as the Nexus. Of course, we all know how they took over Raw in 2010. It was a good moment in Raw history. It was a memorable moment, and it made an impact for the team. Unfortunately, Daniel Bryan was fired that night because he, quote-unquote, choked Justin Roberts, who was the ring announcer, with his own tie. And, of course, to Vince McMahon and Michael Hayes, that's a big no-no in our company, you know. So he was fired, and a lot of people were pissed about it, but as time went on, they started to slightly forget about it. But then SummerSlam came, SummerSlam 2010, alright? And pretty much what happened, though, all of you can go ahead and hate on John Cena, but despite what people say, John Cena is one of the major reasons that he came, Daniel Bryan came back to the company, alright? It's not like, of course he wanted to, but the WWE were not allowing it because, of course, they fired him. But John Cena said, you know what, why don't you give the guy a chance? We all make mistakes. It was something dumb. Just hire him back. We could use him for this tag team match. So pretty much what happened at SummerSlam, though, was the Nexus versus Team WWE. It was a good-ass match. Bryan was included instead of The Miz. It was a good match, honestly. I feel like I'm going to go watch it, honestly, right after this review. I feel like doing it now. It's just what I do. Usually after my reviews and videos, I go back and I watch it on the network because I just feel like it. It gives me in the mood to do it. But what happened, though, is that it was a good match. Bryan came back and got a good reaction for someone that wasn't there most of the year, you know. They haven't seen him in months, and he came back and got a huge reaction. Pretty much everybody already knew who he was, and if they didn't matter. It was a good moment for him. You know, everyone was cheering for him, and overall it was just a good time. Pretty much after that, though, he had a feud with his mentor, or I'm sorry, I don't even know what they were called. I think it's mentor or pro, yeah, his pro in NXT, who was the tag team champion and the United States champion at that time, it was The Miz. So pretty much The Miz had a feud. Also, I think he was Money in the Bank shortly after that. So that guy had it all back in 2010. People, literally, the guy had it all. I'm serious. Um, but we're not here to talk about The Miz. We're talking about Bryan. And he had a rivalry with The Miz, of course. And then at Night of Champions, I think that was right after SummerSlam, he faced The Miz and won the United States title in a good-ass match, you know? So Bryan was continuing to prove himself. Of course, Justin Roberts. I'm sorry, not Justin Roberts. That other guy. Josh Matthews. I think that was his name. I honestly can't remember. I have not seen him in a long fucking time, in like 4 years, you know? But, I think his name was Josh Matthews. I think. Or maybe it was Justin something. Honestly, I don't remember. It's not important. But of course, he was like, you know, he was always supporting Bryan. He said, WWE Universe is now a fan of Daniel Bryan, and he's really getting behind him. You know, he always fucking said that because he was like the internet darling of the commentary back then. I don't fucking know. But he had a good run as the United States champion. He ended up losing it to Sheamus. And then at WrestleMania, they had a United States title match. But it wasn't like that. They had a match on the pre-show. And if you're not a WWE superstar, if you're not that familiar with WWE, you should know that pretty much the pre-show, for any pay-per-view, nobody wants to be on the pre-show. Especially the pre-show of WrestleMania. Because it's like, all right, we're going to put you on the card of WrestleMania. If that doesn't make a superstar happy, I don't know what will. And then it's like the pre-show and a lumberjack match, which will just end in a battle royal the next night. I think that's what happened. I don't fucking know. But pretty much it was a lumberjack match. It was stupid. It was pointless. And everybody was disappointed about it, especially Daniel Bryan. Sheamus was disappointed about it too. He was the United States champion at the time, and they had a I'm not going to say anything about it. It was just a lumberjack match at the WrestleMania pre-show. Of course, this was the known WrestleMania 27, the piece of shit of all WrestleManias, or at least in the past few years. But after that, though, Bryan recovered pretty quick. It was Money in the Bank a few months later. And originally, Wade Barrett was supposed to win this was back then when they had two Money in the Banks, you know, the Raw and the SmackDown, when they had two separate major titles. I say major in the nicest way I can, considering how the world title was treated. But, oh my god, I sound like such a fucking mark right now. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. But originally Wade Barrett was supposed to win Money in the Bank. It was a good match. It really was a good ladder match. Of course, there were 7 men in it. Other than Sheamus, Barrett, and Bryan, there weren't that many major names, I don't think, to my memory. But pretty much, Bryan ended up winning the match for reasons. I don't really know why. I swear I've heard of it before, but I can't remember it right now. Wade Barrett was going to win the Money in the Bank, as I said, but it got changed to Bryan. I don't remember why, but still, I don't fucking know. Fate is fate, as I usually say. And it ended up being for the best, because looking how each of those men are treated now in current day, I guess it was for the best. So Bryan ended up winning his first ever, you know, real accomplishment. Of course, he did win the United States title, and he was in that big Nexus versus Team WWE match. But this is him having a chance to win the Money in the Bank contract, and he did. So that meant a chance to win the world title, which is fucking huge, you know, of course. And he ended up doing that at TLC in one of my favorite cash-ins. Pretty much Mark Henry. It was Mark Henry versus Big Show in a chairs match for the World Heavyweight title at TLC 2011. And what happened is that Mark Henry attacked Big Show after the match, and Daniel Bryan came running out in the happiest I've ever seen him. Almost, well, back then, and then he cashed in on the Big Show and won the world title. And Michael Cole ruined it with it because, of course, at the time he was doing his stupid thing where all he would do is shit on Daniel Bryan. Michael Cole even says, you know, he's just doing what he's told by Vince and K. McMahon, because Daniel Bryan has to be that character that works for everything, you know, and I can appreciate that, but Michael just took it to a whole nother level. which is what Vince wants. He wants people to take it to a whole nother level. And even Bryan says, he was like, for some reason, Michael was supposed to be the heel to me for some reason. I don't know, because no one had any fucking idea. But he ended up becoming. I hope you love all my voices, by the way. But he won the world title, the World Heavyweight Championship. He had it for 4 months, maybe a little less, but he had it from TLC to WrestleMania 28. Skipping ahead to WrestleMania 28, he lost the world title to Sheamus. Isn't that funny how in 2011 they were forced to be on the pre-show, facing for the United States title in a lumberjack match. And here they are now, 1 year later, just 1 year later, Bryan is the World Heavyweight Champion and Sheamus has won the Royal Rumble and they are opening up WrestleMania. It's a pretty big change. It's a coincidence, though, that they're the same men. Maybe not. I don't know. But pretty much the rivalry itself was okay, but the match at WrestleMania 28. What happened, though, of course, we all know the 28 seconds, one of the shortest matches ever in WrestleMania history. Bryan went for the kiss from AJ, and Sheamus bro-kicked the fuck out of Bryan, won the world title. Storyline-wise, that's pretty good, but fan-wise, no one wants to see it. And this was Bryan's first time doing the yes. I just did a little hand motion. You all can't see me. But whenever I'm going to say yes in this video, which I'm going to probably from now on, since this is where we start getting into the yesing, you can't see it right now, but I'm doing the little hand motion. I'm sorry. I'm going to be doing that the whole video, and you all can't see it. I'm sorry. But this is when the yes chance first started. Okay, I'm not going to make it sound like a fucking snake. This is when the yes chance first started. The next night on Raw, Bryan did not appear. And then after the show, of course, we all seen this on YouTube, look it up, Bryan got yes chance, and Bryan ended up coming out, and he made a good promo. And this is where the yes chance started. So Bryan ended up becoming a huge fan favorite from here. Didn't really do anything major from there on out. Other than Team Hell No. Team Hell No, guys, is probably my favorite tag team of all time. You could say what you want. Pipe Bomb City, you PG Mark. Because my favorite WrestleMania is 31, and my favorite tag team is TL No. You could say whatever you want that I'm a PG fan. You could say that. I'm not a real fan. You can all go ahead and say that. But Team Hell No is funny, and they could win. They were dominant, and they were funny. And you know what? It was great. I loved it. Especially the Dr. Shelby. Oh my god, that man cracked me up. Especially in the middle of the rivalry, though, guys. It was hilarious. It was fun. It always got me in a good mood. And this was actually around the time where I started to watch WWE. My first ever pay-per-view, I didn't even get to watch it, but the first ever pay-per-view I heard of was SummerSlam 2012. And it was Bryan versus Kane, because they were having a little feud there. They ended up, at the next month, I was very familiar with WWE already back then. I clicked with it pretty quick. I started watching it in the summer of 2012. My first Raw was Raw 1000. What do you know? What happened, though, was that they won the tag team titles, and it was great. I loved it. They lasted a long-ass time. They almost made it to the year mark. They lost at Extreme Rules. So from Night of Champions to Extreme Rules, that's it's like 8 months. I don't even know. I suck at math. But still, that's pretty damn good, and it was funny. It was entertaining. They ended up graduating from anger management. They ended up losing to The Shield. And then from there, Bryan separated onto his own man, where he became a fan favorite. Team Hell No was for the best because it escalated. It made Kane. Okay, first of all, though, it made Kane do something relevant, and made Bryan. It escalated his career onto a whole other level. It skyrocketed it, and Bryan ended up becoming a fan favorite. Earned his WWE title match at SummerSlam 2013 against John Cena. He ended up defeating John Cena. It was a happy moment for everybody, and Randy Orton cashed out. Triple H turned heel, along with the but along with the Authority, who were created back then. That's where it first started, 2013. Can't believe we've been doing it for 3 fucking years. All the bullshit that's happened. What the fuck? But pretty much, though, Bryan lost his title next month, quote-unquote, won the title in a cheap match because The referee, Scott Armstrong, fast counted it. We all know this shit here. If you don't, I don't know when you started watching WWE, man. Um, well, yeah, I don't fucking know. All right, but pretty much, and then at Hell in a Cell was Orton versus Bryan for the third time, and it was going to be for the WWE title with Shawn Michaels as special guest referee in the Hell in a Cell match. Um, Cheap finish again, and the rivalry continued a few months after uh, Daniel Bryan had a feud with the Wyatts, along with CM Punk at his side. It ended up just becoming Bryan versus the Wyatts. Of course, we all know the famous Daniel Bryan turn on the Wyatts. The yes chants were unbelievable. But pretty much then the Royal Rumble came. Royal Rumble 2014. The match happened. It was well, first of all, it was going to be Bryan versus Bray Wyatt. Right, this is before any of the other. This is before Strowman. This is before any of the big things that happened for the Wyatts. The Wyatts came in not too much before that. That they were like, I honestly can't remember when the Wyatts started. I think it was summer 2013. Yes, they were there for maybe it was 2012. I don't think it was 2012. No, it wasn't 2012. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. In the summer of 2013, the Wyatts debuted and they ended up feuding with Daniel Bryan. And at the Royal Rumble, Daniel Bryan had a feud with Bray Wyatt. It was a good match. It was a good opener for the Rumble 2014, and ended up both men were not in the Rumble match. When number 30 came out, that was the end of Rey Mysterio's career, in my opinion, even though he was doing nothing before that. Um, but Rey Mysterio pretty much came out at number 30, got booed the hell out of, and the whole match pretty much went down from there because everyone was expecting Daniel Bryan to be number 30. Didn't end up happening, and then shit got real pretty much. Next night on Raw, everyone was freaking out about it. It was a good moment. Also, previous to that, before it became the unified title, Daniel Bryan talked about this in his retirement promo. What he said was, or what happened was that it was Orton versus Cena. They were having a rivalry to declare, before they were hyping up the match at TLC 2013, the biggest match in history in WWE's opinion, to combine both major titles, and all they were chanting was Daniel Bryan in his hometown. It was a great moment. After the Rumble, though, pretty much they continued their authority rivalry and it picked up right where it left off from October. It's February now, or I'm sorry, January now. And they battled the authority, and Daniel Bryan had one of the greatest WrestleMania moments ever, where he won the WWE World title. It was a good rivalry. It was a great rivalry from January to April. It was a good rivalry. I really did enjoy it. It made everyone feel good to see Daniel Bryan defeat Triple H, Randy Orton, and Batista. It was great. I loved it. And then he ended up getting injured. Everyone was shocked. Of course, Bryan knew about it way beforehand. He already kind of knew about it, but he wanted to continue because he said himself, usually when WWE gives him an opportunity, or I'm sorry, anyone an opportunity, I think he said, and then he gets injured, especially him, and then something happens, they're going to take the title away. And Bryan just wanted to win that title at WrestleMania, so he kept pushing through the pain, ended up having a great moment, and of course, we all know the Conor the Crusher story, of course. So Bryan was going through a lot at that time. He was injured. His late great father passed away, and he was getting married. Of course, the marriage is a good thing, but it was happening in a time of pure chaos. So bad things were coming, We didn't see much of Bryan until he came back the next year in January. He already came back. He had a lot of fucking hair, and he won the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania 31. So again, another great moment. I loved it. Everyone loved it. He got injured again, though. And this time it was a lot more serious because we didn't know what was going to happen to his career. Because this is the second time he's been handed something big and got injured with it. On top of that, of course, the injuries themselves were big. They were dangerous, and they could have ended his life. So, of course, here we are now at Bryan's retirement. Daniel Bryan, of course, had to retire. I touched on this on my Raw review. Daniel Bryan is truly an idol to me, especially from now on. I love what he's done for us. I love what he's done for me personally because he's given me so many good memories that I'm probably going to remember for a long, long time. The man himself is just overall a good person. He puts a lot of people over himself. The fans, on the WWE Network Goodbye Daniel Bryan little special they had, he literally hugged and high-fived everyone surrounding the barricade. You know what, man? He's truly just a great guy. He cares about what he loves. Professional wrestling has done good to him, but he has done good to professional wrestling. He's over there. He was on Raw and he thanked all of us. He was grateful, but we are the ones that should have been thanking him. Man. So overall, Daniel Bryan, though, hopefully he goes in the Hall of Fame because what this reminds me of exactly is Edge. This is just like the Edge situation. The only difference is that Edge was getting pretty old. He was there in the 1990s. That's when he debuted, the late 1990s, and he ended his career in 2011. So that's a long career, But Daniel Bryan had a lot more years left. He's only 34. But you know what? Stuff happens. It's fine. Of course, we're gonna see him again, but not competing. But man, I'll take what I can get. I'm just grateful that I got to see him for a long time. So thank you, Daniel Bryan. Of course, Edge went in the Hall of Fame in 2012, even though he left in 2011. Of course, this was after WrestleMania, though, a little bit. So maybe Bryan can go in the Hall of Fame for WrestleMania 32. I would like that. Or WrestleMania 33, whatever they do, because this man is going in the Hall of Fame. I am truly grateful, though, that Vince and all the superstars and just everybody on Raw paid so much credit to Bryan, and they were noticing him, and they made the whole night featuring Daniel. He was the main event. He went 20 minutes, more than 20 minutes over the ending time for Daniel Bryan's promo. So thank you, Vince. Thank you, everybody, for making that happen. It was truly great. I appreciate that. Hopefully all of you do too. Anyone saying that he has to go to Ring of Honor or New Japan or something for one more match or one more run, don't do it. That's dumb. I don't understand how that would even work. But that's, man, this is a bit of a long video here. That's all I really got to say, honestly. Thank you so very much for watching, guys. Be sure to check out my Raw review for February 8th, 2016, guys. Be sure to check that out. I dearly appreciate it. Thank you so very much for clicking on this video. Thank you, Daniel Bryan, for all the memories and a great career that you've had. I appreciate it. Anyways, guys, thank you so very much. Be sure to subscribe, like this video, and comment your opinion as long as it's not hate. Be sure to check out my Instagram at instagram.com/pipebumpcity, and I will see you all next time.